At first, learning to play Jurassic World Evolution can feel like trying to understand a brand new language. Although developer Frontier is an expert at creating management sims that look absolutely stunning, it's not the best at building tutorials. Therefore, you might need a few Jurassic World Evolution tips to help you wade through some of the more opaque elements of the game. It's utterly brilliant when it all works, so let me help you get to that point more quickly. So without further ado, here are 10 essential Jurassic World Evolution tips you need to know before you start playing. One, you can request missions in the control room. Sometimes things can get a little dull if you're just waiting for that hard-earned dino dosh to trickle in, so make sure you've always got a goal by requesting a contract or two in the control room menu. Building a relationship with each of the different departments in your park leads to some seriously good rewards, so keep ticking off those missions and building those friendships. 2. Try and complete the main missions on each island before you move on. There are 3 main story mission lines to complete on each island, and although it might be tempting just to leap off to the next dino land as soon as you unlock an island, I'd advise you stop and wait a little. It actually benefits you to complete as many of these story quests as you can on an island before moving on to the next one, mainly because you'll unlock new stuff and learn a few things that will definitely come in handy on later islands. Knowledge is power and all that. 3. Don't be afraid to decline missions. Sometimes you just don't have the resources, the available research, or the fossils to complete some of the missions that you're thrown. But don't be afraid to decline the ones that don't suit your playstyle or your current in-game progression. There was one mission about designer dinosaurs that I was thrown early on, and I've still not found a fossil for it. You don't lose anything by declining missions, so just dismiss it and request another one. 4. STRUTHIOMIMUS are great at earning you some money fast. When you're first getting started on an island, earning money from scratch can be a very, very slow process. But don't fear, the adorable little lizard folk that are the STRUTHIOMIMUS are here to help. They're inexpensive to incubate, love being in big packs, don't need much food or space, and are basically the best thing for kickstarting your finances in a new park. They won't thank you for it, but your bank balance will.
Breathing, thinking being, an entity, distinct and unique, and now you, just manufacture them.
5. Monitoring your dino stats is super important. Once you've incubated a dino, don't just leave it to roam free in its little enclosure. You need to befriend it and learn all its secrets. Pay special attention to the status tab, where it lists stats like health, food, water, comfort, and more. Some of these are self-explanatory, but it's the last 4 that you need to keep an eye on throughout your dino's lifetime: grassland, forest, population, and social. Keep the levels in the blue rather than the red. Grassland and forest relate to your dino's enclosure, so make sure you've got enough open space to satisfy its grassland requirement and enough trees for the forest one. Population relates to the amount of dinos it shares an enclosure with, so the more scaly friends it has, the higher this number will be. Some dinos really don't like sharing their space with more than 1 or 2 other beasties. The social bar is specifically related to how many dinos of the same species it has to interact with in the same enclosure. So when you're incubating new dinos, be aware that it's possible for dinosaurs to get lonely or feel overwhelmed by having too many other dinos about, both of its own species and others. I found that they're the 2 key reasons why my dinos start acting out, and we all know that's when the bad things happen. 6. Having water and food is a must for each of your dino enclosures. It's pretty obvious that you need to make sure that your dinosaurs have the right kinds of food available in their enclosure. Herbivores need herbivore feeders, long-necked vegisaurs need tall feeders for the plant variety, and carnivores can have carnivore feeders or live bait. Sorry, Mr. Goat. But it's the water that's easy to forget when building new dino pens, and it can be very fussy to add later. It's there in the landscaping tab, but before you start adding dinos, just make sure there's actually somewhere to add a pond. I can't even tell you the amount of times I've tried to add water and been presented with obstruction or terrain errors. It's really annoying. Just have a little landscape prod around first before your dinos die of thirst. 7. The power system is overly complicated. Power isn't one of the best explained systems, but it is one of the most important in your park. Don't fret though, because there's a way to make things a lot easier to manage and prettier to look at. Dedicate one small patch of park to be your power bank and build as many power stations as you can afford. Connect them all together with pylons and then just have one string of pylons running from here to the rest of your park. It's then just a case of dropping substations along the line to cover your buildings and electric fences as you need them, which you can tuck away a little more out of sight. That's better, isn't it? 8. Check your research centre before introducing new dinos. Adding a new dinosaur species to your park can be a bit of a headache for a number of reasons, but regularly it means adding the risk of a new disease spreading across your park. Before you drop in a new dino, make sure you've researched cures to all the available diseases at the research centre. That way it's just a case of medicating that one poorly one quickly before it spreads to all its friends, rather than having to wait to find the cure first and then manically administering antidotes to your entire park.
Request acknowledged.
9. You can research and then equip upgrades for your resources. All of your buildings can be more effective if you just equip them with a couple of upgrades. You can unlock these in the research centre and then you equip them by going to the menu for your individual buildings and tabbing across to the upgrade menu. Suddenly, for a small investment, your power stations are more efficient, less prone to outages, and even your expedition teams can dig faster and with more success. So get upgrading. So there's 9 essential tips for getting started in Jurassic World Evolution. If you have any more, let us know in the comments below. Click the buttons on the left for more content from us, and don't forget to hit that big button in the middle for more news, reviews, previews and more from us here at GamesRadar Plus.